Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. So from our previous video, just to summarize very briefly, we had a great finish with both of our cars in the top 10, I believe 4th and 7th. This now updates our driver standings. We are now in 2nd and 8th in the driver standings. That is an excellent result. And as far as the team goes, we have jumped into a tie for first. Now, this Ozu motor team, if you remember from a couple of videos ago now, they came down, they were demoted from tier 2 down to tier 3. So it's not surprising that they would be up toward the top of the grid at this point in the season. So we're fighting tooth and nail with them. We've got a 7-point lead over what would be 2nd place. There, let's take a quick look at the mail. And yes, we know that we totally trashed the cars during that race. And let's see, we've got an interview request. Let's see if it's the same as most of the rest of the interviews. Let's see, a very testing weekend. I'm not sure what you mean by a testing weekend. I mean, he finished great. So I don't know. It's just a little bit odd the way these things seem to be. You know, it's like it wasn't his day. And no, we had a great day. All right, so let's go ahead. I'll take the blame for that one. Okay, that didn't really seem to change much of anything there, so that's good. All right, so Sergio finished 7th, which was well below expectations. Actually, that's not true at all, but we'll just go along with it and say that there's nothing to worry about. And of course, his morale is all the way up anyway, and it actually increased our happiness for our chairman. So the interview system seems to be broken right now, so we'll just sort of keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit so we get our repairs done. And all right, we got a scouting report finished. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So we've got Claudia would be a fairly decent driver. She has a huge amount of potential. Okay, that is great. That's what I want to see. Let's head over to the scouting department and see what we have for that. All right, so she is currently at a 3 and just a little bit more than that for future possibilities. Marketability is not all that good. Feedback is very good. Okay, so I like what I see there. Let's come back to our email. Okay, our repairs are done. That means we can come back in. And we're really, really going to work hard on reliability here. I want to have our next race be the first race of the year where we can really focus hard on performance and not have to worry about reliability. Let's hope we can finally get to that point. Okay, so we're at 70% there on both of those. So let's go ahead and remove those for the time being and put the brakes back in. Let's see, of course, we still got a lot of work to do there. Let's see what our engines are at. Both of them are above 70. Okay, so not bad. All in all, not exactly where we want to be, but not bad. With that in mind, let's see. Let's go ahead and start designing a new part. So we've designed one of each so far, engine and gearbox. Let's go ahead and get started on the brakes. And same thing here. Our first part is going to be pretty blah, really. An increase of 20 there. But it gets this first one out of the way. We'll go ahead and get that one started. And it won't take long at all to work on it. We're down to 656,000, but the next race I hope is going to really go a long way toward fixing that. Okay, so now we have one of our race bonus sponsors opened up. So we've got 3rd place or above and 1st place or above. Let's see what we can get here. They want 12th or above for a small payment. So really this is a step down, I think. For us, not happy about that. It does give us a little bit of upfront money, but overall, not too thrilled with that. But I plan on using this particular option. We've got one more race left on it, and that's what I plan on using the next time. Okay, let's go ahead and fast forward. You can see our brakes will be done very shortly. And let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit more so we can get through the tier 1 event. Okay. And here we go. So now we've got our email telling us that our brake build has now finished. We can come in here and fit that part. So we take a look. We go from 183 to 217 for Sergio, and from 158 to 183 for Rafael. Now I know he's angered by this, but we're just sort of running this through as best we can for now as we continue to move forward. I'm not terribly worried about how angry he is because our performance is great. All right, so far so good on that. Of course, now we're going to have to work on the reliability of our new brakes. So we'll come in and let's go ahead and remove the engine part here, and we'll add in our new brakes. Same thing here. We'll remove that old engine. We don't need that in there, and we'll work on performance there. So you can see we're slowly moving our new parts in and maximizing their performance, and they're almost there, really. From that point of view, let's see, we're at, okay, we'll go ahead and actually, no, we don't need to do that one at all. So that'll give us a little bit more room there. And go ahead and fill up. Okay, so that moves our correct braking package in. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Okay, let's see what we can get going here. So a TV piece, both mechanics relationship, or they're offering money to reduce that. No, I really don't want to do that. The money would be nice, but let's go ahead and go this route. Okay, let's come back to our car. And designing a new part, let's go ahead and get started on brakes, I believe. So we're last on top speed, 9th, and then 9th on our other parts for overall a 9th. Now, let's go ahead and work on our brakes and see what we have opportunity for here. So now we've got a couple of slots opened up. We have an option here. We can go, if we want to add 5 more days to the build, I can choose an extra good slot. So let's take a look and see what we got. So we can go for 2 days, we can go extra 25 there, plus 5 reliability. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, and so we got plus 20 there. Wow, plus 50 is huge for that. So that is very tempting. All right, we got a plus 35 there and a minus 10% on the red zone. So that's also very nice. But overall, I think what I'm going to do is go here and then here. That gets us up to a 281 maximum. Let's see. I also like this number. So 272 out of 281. Let's go ahead and see what happens if we back off of this. 271, but all right, so not really doesn't, if we're going to take the risk here, 242, yeah, it really seems to be which one of these do I want to use. And I'm going to go ahead with this one because the reliability should not be an issue. You can see it's not going to be done before the next race, but that's perfectly fine because that will give us a full few weeks to work on reliability. All right, excellent. So let's go ahead and get started on that. Build that. Again, it's going to take most of our money. Okay, so if we come back into our parts, we can see 272 is going to be a huge jump from 217 where we are now. So I like that idea a lot. All right, so our performance work is basically done there. Let's go ahead and, even though that's not a significant portion for us, we'll go ahead and let that get started. Move everything back over toward the reliability. And so far, let's see, 43%, not as high as I would prefer, but looks like we've got a scouting report do. Let's check our emails for that. There we go. Irene would be a low quality driver. Potential is good though. Okay, so not too bad. We'll go ahead and get through these other emails and then head back over to the scouting department. And let's see what we've got. Okay, so not terrible. So she meditates. Not bad. Terrible feedback. All right, so with that in mind, that is really not going to help us. But remember, we're sort of stockpiling things here to have a few options if at the end of the year, one or both of our drivers decide to leave. Okay, let's come back out and go ahead and continue. We had an automatic stoppage there because we reached the first of the month. All right, so we've got a new vote. So they want to replace, we just got this on the schedule and they're wanting to replace it. I really don't care either way. So I'm going to abstain and carry over that vote power until the next vote. Let's go ahead and skip to the end. And it's rejected. Okay, which I'm kind of happy it was rejected because we just got it on the thing. Why don't we try to replace another one of the tracks that we're going to twice in a year? I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, so we're down to 4 weeks remaining on our test track. Okay, let's go ahead and continue moving forward there. We've got a couple of events to simulate for the top 2 tiers. All right, so we're almost done with our final scouting report, which reminds me that I need to queue up a couple more. And let's see, so we've got one more there. And we'll go ahead and queue up this one as well to fill out our queue. All right, let's go ahead and actually I want to take a look at how things are coming along. Wow, we're only up to 54%, not near as much as I had hoped. So, okay, but I still need to keep those there. I could remove these and try to improve that, but I need to continue improving those as well. All right, so our final scouting report is done. Okay, let's see, one of the weaker drivers, ouch, doesn't have a huge amount of potential. Yikes, that is not good. Okay, the marketability low, everything. Oh, but he does have a new haircut. So there's always something to look forward to. All right, so it's time to race, and I don't want anything to do with only 250,000 bonus. We're going to go for the podium here and try to get this large bonus so we can get more in our bank account, because we're going to need to get busy on working on some new parts. Okay, let's take a look at our parts to the car. Let's see, we've got brakes. 62% isn't great, but maybe we won't have to push quite as much because of the increased performance. We'll have to watch that. Although, admittedly, brakes don't take that long to repair if we have to go that route in the pits. Okay, engine, both above 70, so that's good. And our gearbox, both above 70 and looking good there. So I'm very pleased with that. And with that in mind, I think it's time to race. Practice has just ended, and now it's decision time. And the reason it's decision time is because this is a 13-lap race, and fuel at normal usage lasts 6 laps. So I can do this on one stop, I believe, as long as I can get some decent fuel savings. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Rafael, who's already starting in the back, I'm going to have him try the one stopper, and I'm going to have Sergio go with a 2-stop strategy. So I'm going to have Sergio push. We're going to be pushing like mad for him. And because of the fact that I'm going to try to have Rafael stay out longer on tires and everything, I'm using a bonus that will allow his tires to wear more slowly rather than the performance increase. So we'll see how that works out. Let's take a look at our setup. And we've got 97% here on the setup for Sergio. We're going with, of course, full of fuel and the soft tires. And here didn't have near as much luck with Raphael on setup, although I did make one tweak from the 91% to get it back, the arrow back to where it was on a previous setup. So I think we'll get up to a 92, 93 or something if we can actually see that percentage. And then, of course, he's full of fuel. You can see here it shows 6 laps, 13 lap total for the race. So really we need to go 6 and 7 in our 2 stints. I think we can do that, but of course, we're about to find out. So our driver strategy, we will change like so. And of course, we're trying to get one of our drivers on the podium. Would love to get both of them there. So this will really spread out our strategy, and let's see what happens. We shouldn't lose too much time with Raphael because of his strategy, because he's already starting in the back, as opposed to Sergio, who's sort of starting mid-pack. All right, we'll go ahead and focus on Sergio, and Rodriguez, I'm sure, will be in last. If not right away, I'm sure before too very long. So Sergio, the big thing we don't need right now is a wreck. We don't need any wrecks, and of course caution flags wouldn't help us either. And Sergio is falling back rather quickly. Let's see, his tires are not heating up. They heated up just fine during practice, but let's see how this goes. And I'll be paying particular attention, of course, to Rodriguez tires because I need his to last much longer than I do Sergio's. All right, so far so good. Again, our finishing position isn't great, but nothing catastrophic has happened. All right, let's see what we've got. And wow, the tires are just not heating up very much at all, even when pushing them. Okay, and I'm definitely hesitating about going to the aggressive mode, because if you flat spot one of the tires on aggressive mode, then you are done for. Okay, let's go ahead and spin our camera around for when it's time for pit stops. All right, so now Sergio is actually falling back behind Rodriguez. I'm going to continue to focus on him for the very simple reason that he will be the first one to come in to the pits. All right, I noticed we've got a crash. All right, wow, everybody comes into the pits. Everybody comes into the pits. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and push as hard as we can with Sergio. Same thing here for Rodriguez, though. We still stay the course with him. All right, so let's have Sergio go as hard as he can because he is coming in this time by. So this gives him 1 lap out on the track by himself. We'll go ahead and fill up with fuel and stick with a 2-part strategy. Let's see, we're going to need to fix this, so we might as well go ahead and do it because I see that coming. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we get a pretty good indication about the 2 cars because they're out there together in clean air. Okay, our pit stop has been queued for for Sergio. So we'll click over to Rodriguez. And I think we can get a couple more laps for him here. And that will enable us to push a little bit harder on our final stint if we can do so. So Rodriguez doing some good laps, still very good tire wear. I'm noticing, okay, let's go ahead and back down. Let's see, do we need to really back down our usage? Let's see. Yeah, man, it is really taking a lot of our engine. So we're going to have to back down just a little bit. Okay, so Rodriguez is now entering his final lap. He's going to be very close to making it on fuel this time, but that's okay. That's by design. Hopefully he just doesn't run out. That would be the worst thing. You can see here 6 laps and 6 laps, which means that we may not have to conserve anymore. And that's really what I was hoping for. Okay, so balanced, everything's balanced, and we should come out somewhere around the the back half of the top 10. All right, so if that fuel would just hold in there for just a little while longer, it would be wonderful if we could come out in this gap ahead of 7th right there. That would be great. All right, so it looks like our fuel is going to hang in there for us. Okay, and now with this strategy, we're going to go ahead and go back up to medium on fuel usage. Okay, we got another one coming in. Where do we come out? Okay, we're going to come out right in the middle of all this in 9th. Okay, ahead of Sergio, who is in 15th. So now Sergio, we'll go ahead and switch back over to him because he'll be the next one we'll need to have come in. Okay, let's go ahead and have Sergio. Man, I really want him to push. What is our condition? 41%. No, I just can't. Man, we're running way too close there. Okay, so we got more pit stops. We move up to 4th and now 7th. All right, again, we're showing excess fuel for Rodriguez, which is good. If we can keep that toward the end of the race, then I might up him a little bit. Okay, now let's go ahead and cue our pit stop. This will be 11 and 3 laps remaining, so we can really push hard for those final 3 laps. Let's see, that should be perfect for fuel. Part condition, wow, we're really running low here on the engine. Okay, so we're going to take our chances. Okay, so Rodriguez moves ahead. Sergio comes into the pits. Let's see how the pit stop goes. So far, so good. And a good pit stop. So he comes out in 13th. All right, not bad at all. So we're up to 2nd place now. And we've got 3 laps remaining. And looks like we're just going to have enough fuel to do that at our current pace. And I think we're going to be in good shape with Sergio as well, although it could be close for him. I do need him to continue to push as much as possible. Let's see. He says the rear wing is damaged, which it is. Wow, that is some terrible luck. We're just going to have to see if it'll hang in there for a couple more laps, though. So far, we are on the podium, but we are in danger of losing that spot. If that part can hold in there for just one more lap. Okay, we've got a part situation with the car behind us. Maybe that will slow them down enough that we can hang on here. Woo, this is getting close. So we're in 3rd. Cars are piling up behind us. Oh, we move up to 2nd because of, it looks like a parts failure. We are in 2nd. Can we bring it home in 2nd? Yes, we can. So now let's hop back. We'll get a 2nd place with Rodriguez. And Sergio moves up to 12th because of a parts failure, and that's where we'll end. Okay. Wow. I'm not sure how much you guys are able to get into these races watching the series, but my heart is pounding right now because we basically had about $1.3 million on the line, resting on whether or not our rear wing would hold up, would the engine hold up, did we have enough fuel to make it, and, you know, all sorts of things like that were factoring into my brain as we counted down those final laps. That is huge. So let's move through the final few. Of course, we didn't have any risk of breaking any rules. Let's see. So we do finish 2nd and 12th. So I'm happy with that. Again, we'd like to see Sergio get up a little bit higher, but that's just the way, you know, everything worked out. So we get that podium, and most importantly, of course, we get that huge bonus. Okay, now in the driver championship standings, that moves Rodriguez up now with a 3-point lead on 2nd place. So we're now in 1st position. Sergio moves down to 10th place, and which again, we're going to work on getting him up much higher. The team championship, we actually fall to 2nd here, I believe is how that worked out. We were tied for 1st, I believe, originally. So now we've fallen down to second, but we're just 1 point out. So we're in good shape. I like this. Hopefully we can build a cushion over third. We're up 5 points now there. And let's go ahead and move forward to our morale screen. I have to imagine that the morale for Sergio and Rafael would both be pretty good here. And yes, that is indeed the case. We stay at 100% for Sergio, and we're now at 85% for Rafael. And let's see, everything else we've got, increases in driver. All that looks good. We're now back to 90% happiness for our chairman. Increase that about 5% here. Marketability looks like that's sort of stalled out on us, that we've reached about our max that we can for now on that, based on all the conditions that it takes into account. But the big screen, of course, is the financial screen, where we get that nice $1.54 million out of this race. And of course, what that's going to allow us to do is continue with our work developing our parts. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.